run your bio real quick. Today,
Yeah.
Frank is going to go over a few operational workflows that for those of us in the land surveying profession. Frank has over 15 years of experience in the field and has worked with industry leaders such as Slack and Qualia, and has a passion for helping complex industries with underserving technology needs. At Slack, Frank developed a deep understanding of enterprise software and a role of technology in driving business growth. Again, why he's here tonight. And then at Qualia, he was instrumental in the company's success as one of the fastest growing real estate tech companies. So we've done a couple of these presentations over the last couple months. We had Compass, we've had Q Factor, we've had Cyanic Automation, and now Frank's going to present his. So there's another one in the mix for those of you looking for project management software type stuff. So I will appreciate your time, Frank, as always, and I will turn it over to you. You should have full control to run over that stuff. So, and there's such a small group tonight, so we would be super interactive.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, Troy and Cindy and Matt, I know you never connected to the audio and you're forever stuck in limbo in between there. But if you guys have questions, feel free to chime in anytime. And I like, to have as much of a dialogue as possible. But if you guys can see the screen, okay, this is Aldoa. We've architected this application to help with a lot of different one can say operational functions within the survey space. And the first thing I want you guys to notice about the application is that we built this program to be as intuitive as possible. Okay. We built this program to be very, very easy to use. So here's what I mean by that. Let's say I'm Troy. I'm in the Parker Smith survey project. All of the information on the left-hand side corresponds to this survey project that he's in. His basic info, his property information, his contact information, all of the finances associated with it, the tasks, the documents associated with Parker Smith. If Troy hits this tab right here, he's now in another project. And all the information on the left-hand side corresponds to this project that he's in, okay? He's in 3 projects at once. If he wants to be in 4, he can be in 4. If he wants to be in 5, he can be in 5. The idea is the same, is that Troy and the other team members or members of his team know instinctively where to go to find the elements that are associated with the work that they're doing. And this was important because if you run a survey company, the company's ability to make money, the company's ability to monetize depends on how well you use your time. It's our belief that if you guys implement a new software program and it takes up a lot of an employee's time to learn, that program actually damages the business. It's actually very bad for the organization. So when we sat down and we created this application, we made it as straightforward as possible to use, and we designed it so that individuals engaging it for the first time would naturally know where to go to find the elements that were associated with what they were working on. So let's say I'm Cindy here. I log in. I can see immediately the name of the project. I can see a project number, and these values can be whatever you want, guys. Okay, so there's no limitations in what you can call it. You can specify the project type. You can see a description of the project. All of the notes that you take can be found right here. Any of the tasks, if you want reminders, can be found here as well. The people working on the project are located on this homepage. And then we built an integration with Google Maps so you can see the property from the software. Now, all of this is just on the first page. So someone logs in from the firm, they know exactly what's going on with the project, and they're able to understand the most important pieces of information. And then from there, they can navigate to where they want to go. Okay. And one of the things that we saw was a lot of times survey companies really don't have an understanding or struggle to understand if their flat fee projects are actually profitable. Okay. And we've developed automation to make this a straightforward part of the operation. And here's how we're able to do it. So I log in here and I'm able to create uh, a budget for a project, for a surveying project. And here I have, aerial topographic mapping. I have resolve subject parcel boundaries. I have preliminary lot layout design. These are all deliverables for the end customer. They're lump sum based deliverables. And I would like to go ahead and I'd like to add another deliverable for this particular customer. And we're going to add, task 4, land planning. Okay. And we're going to make this a lump sum item as well. I can specify a description. You can have multiple line items that roll up to another task. You can have multiple phases. Think of this like Excel. Like this has a lot of flexibility around it when you're creating an estimate on the part of a customer. So I've gone ahead, I'm populating, we're going to charge $1,800 for land planning. Okay. I save this, I can download and export this value, and it brings it out to Excel. So if you're used to creating your estimates in Excel, this application will auto format it and it will make it so that it is automatically in a client presentable capacity. So we've created our estimate and now I'm ready to track time against this project. Okay. So Aldoa does all of your time tracking. So in addition to helping you create your estimates for a client, and being your system of record for all your project information, it actually is able to track time for you. So I go here, I go to this Parker Smith survey project, and now I can add a row and say that I worked on the land planning item that we added. I worked as a surveyor. You have this concept of timesheet codes that enable you to organize work. I can put notes here as well. So let's say I want to put that I'm working with Rob. Okay. So I've gone ahead and I've populated that I'm working with Rob on this project, and I went and made a time submission. So I've submitted, 5 hours on Monday, 4 hours on Tuesday, 3 hours on Wednesday, as a part of one task. And on task 4, I submitted an additional 18 hours. I'm going to make one more submission here and say on task 2, which is resolve subject parcel boundaries issue, I'm going to track my time on that as well for the latter half of the week. And now I've made a submission. Another complexity that we came across is sometimes survey companies have trouble making invoices, and our application allows for the automatic creation of invoices. So I'm going to go ahead and say I want to create an invoice for these different deliverables. And since it's lump sum, you can actually just specify that you completed the entire thing. If it's a use case for you guys, you can actually say that you've completed only part of the deliverable. So you can say it's 25%, 50% done, but in most cases of a lot of you guys, I think you probably indicate that something is either 100% done or not done at all. And so here I'm going to go say I've finished 100% of one item, 50% of another. That brings us into our invoice generator. We can immediately see what we're billing for here. And editing this invoice is a function of clicking. It's not a arduous process to change the materials that are on it. If you want to, for instance, change the payment terms, you can. If you want to show a labor breakdown, you can. All this information can be changed. You can carry whatever aesthetic you want. You can preview it, publish it. We've built a line-by-line integration with QuickBooks. We noticed that a lot of survey companies operate off of it. So all of your payables, your expenses, your time, um, your invoices, all of that flows out to QuickBooks automatically. And on the front end, if I run a survey company, I know right away, okay, did I make money on this lump sum project? What were the different deliverables to the client? Okay, did I make money on any of the tasks that I delivered to them? Did I lose money on any of them? Was there any particular element of the project that wasn't lucrative? And the idea behind this is that you're in control and you have an understanding right away of which projects are accretive for you as a surveying company and which ones probably need a reevaluation in terms of what you're charging from a flat fee perspective. Okay. Other things that we've included into the application are the ability to, for instance, track tasks. And just like we had tasks on the estimate that we created, and we tracked tasks and created an invoice based on uh, those initial items that we put into the estimate, you can actually have checklists that you automatically create for your team. And you can say, I want to go ahead and import all of these different tasks from the estimate. Okay. And then I want them to assign them to particular members of the firm. So I'm assigning myself these tasks here. And if somebody's responsible for administering the tasks, they can make themselves a watcher. Okay. All of these tasks here, whereas these tell you where an individual project is, what you have is also the ability to look at these tasks across the entire organization, and you can have a feel for, okay, what's due today, what's due tomorrow, what's been completed, and what remains to be done. And this will essentially show you across a collection or a subset or your entire universe of deliverables exactly what needs to be done. And these are just checklists so that your company stays organized. Sometimes we see multiple different systems happen. We see QuickBooks happen. We see invoices being created in Excel. We see Monday.com or another kind of generic task tracking system, where people use Microsoft Teams. This is an all-in-one system where you can track tasks, generate the initial estimate, track your time, create your invoice, integrate into your pre-existing general ledger system with QuickBooks, and then understand in real time as the business owner what exactly is happening from the profitability of my firm. Also, we noticed that a lot of companies generate spectacular amounts of documents that need to be stored. And one of the things that you're able to do is uh, you're able to upload unlimited document storage for free forever in the cloud. There's a series of folders that allows you to organize information. We noticed there was a different system being used for document storage, or it was just sitting on a server. And then you can reference this information as well. So you have a lot of flexibility with regards to that in terms of document storage. The application also allows for contact management. You can say who are your clients on a project, and then you can have this information roll up to a global repository, and you can see exactly any of the notes associated with the contact, who the employees are that work there, and then what projects that individual is associated with. So the application functions as a lightweight CRM. And these are multiple systems. If you think about your own operation, you probably have QuickBooks, and then uh, maybe you have another way of creating an estimate, and maybe you have a different system for time tracking, and then a different place for document storage, and then you have a CRM. This is an all-in-one system that's designed for a survey type of enterprise, one that you know, essentially it's created to create cohesion from an operational perspective, essentially. So last thing I'll go over is the calendar. When you assign out work to people through the task tracking mechanism, you can actually see exactly in a chronological capacity who has to do what and when within the application. And this integrates with Microsoft Outlook. So you immediately are able to see these items on your Outlook folder as well. And I know that was short and sweet. Do you guys have any questions? Anything that I can help answer?
I know we had chatted before, your time tracking software would be still manual entries, is that correct? It's not integrated with any kind of T-sheets or any of that stuff, right?
It is integrated with T-sheets.
Oh, it
So
is. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's
Perfect.
integrated with T-sheets.
Okay.
So if you use T-sheets,
Yep. And then this one will work with QuickBooks Online and QuickBooks Desktop?
that's correct. Yeah.
Okay. Because I know some of the other ones will only be QuickBooks Online, so that's important to know. Good stuff. What
Hey Frank, how many municipalities are using it? Do you know?
The
Not
municipalities
exactly, I mean,
themselves,
hmm?
we're we're yet to get like a government entity or municipality on it per se, but we've had about 75 companies sign up for it in the past 4 months.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I could see this being beneficial to the private land surveyors. Well, anybody that's surveying, but
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I wouldn't that's funny, Troy. No one's ever really, and even in the other presentations, no one ever really said, hey, what municipalities are using it? So that's a good one too. I would think
yeah.
you would think some municipalities would have some type of dashboard already, but Cindy, I am one of 5 employees. Let's see, open the chat. Do nothing with billing. Boss won't boss won't want me to know all the information. Okay, yeah, there you go. Sorry, it took me a second to read that, Cindy. So I guess it would be, is there an employee side? There's a couple of the other ones that do that, right? So you have one with management credentials and then one with like employee credentials, so they can't see necessarily all the finances is what Cindy's asking there, Frank.
That's exactly the case, Cindy. So it's like you have role-based permissions that limit your ability to see particular objects in the system. So if you run an organization and you don't want somebody to see project finances, for instance, or invoicing, or you only want them to be able to submit time, you have the ability to put those limitations in there. That's a good question.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think we talked about the kind of the project map, and this would just be project specific, correct? There's not like a big overview map, right?
When
Correct.
you say a big overview
Yeah,
map,
like of all the different projects in the area, right? Kind of maybe in the whole metro area or one particular section of an area.
so what you can do is you can have this overview right here that
Mhm.
you can filter on, and you can actually do you can actually do filtration based on different variables that are assigned. So if you were to, for instance, want to filter on city,
Yep.
one could do that, and you could show just projects that pertain to a particular municipality.
Okay.
Or if you wanted to filter like based on a particular contact.
Sure.
Um,
Perfect.
yeah.
Is there, okay, yeah, I guess that works in some of those areas. There's, if we were to do that for like Las Vegas, that we have Las Vegas or City of Henderson. So if we typed in Las Vegas, we might get all, 10,000 projects. So having that map view of what you've done in that area or done in that particular section or quadrant, right? That always helps out too. So, township and range and APN number, that's all part of your inputting as well, right? Or just
Yep.
APN number. Yep. Perfect. Love it. Export, yeah, the ability to export out. KMLs or KMZs?
No, not yet.
On the to-do list. Need some code writer. What else you guys got? Help Frank deliver a product that is useful for us surveyors. Anybody got any more?
About filtering. Well, this is filtering projects.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about when I was with the county here before I switched to the city, we had an Excel spreadsheet that you can filter through and everything and go through the decades and decades and decades of surveys that have been turned into the county here. And filter them out to find them, and specifically to township range and section and all that kind of stuff. So we ended up creating that on an Excel spreadsheet.
That's a really common thing. I think Excel's the glue that holds together a lot of the industry. You have QuickBooks on the back end and then a lot of different spreadsheets essentially that people operate on.
Even at your top of your toolbar there, it says timesheets. I wouldn't be surprised if the timesheets were based on an Excel program.
So in some ways we try to mirror Excel with some facets of the platform simply because it's the workflow that a lot of people are used to.
Yep. Yeah, I was gonna say even I mean the other T-sheets allows you to export CSVs and PDFs and all kinds of different formats. So yeah, it's definitely the main platform.
Like question for the broader team, how do you guys know if when you charge a flat fee project, they're actually profitable?
We have the Q factor system that we've been talking about, that I was talking with you about before we did this one. So we have our checks and balances and we've been using that since 2018. So August of 2018. So we're a good 6 years in on that one, but
Yeah.
Cindy or anybody else, what software are you guys using? And are you able to know per project? Although Cindy already said she's not privy to that information. Unless she's not making money, then she's probably privy to it. QuickBooks, yeah.
Yep, she says QuickBooks.
Yep.
Here, we got somebody else takes care of it. I'm on the taxpayer dollar, so.
That's awesome.
Do you work at a municipality, Troy?
Yeah. City of
cool.
Pendleton in Oregon.
Okay, I grew up in Oregon. Not really Oregon, right across the river from Portland, in Vancouver.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's not Oregon.
That's not Oregon. I
Washington.
went to high school in Oregon. It was just a river, you know what I mean? Sort of thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Roundup City.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Anybody else got anything more? Frank, this is the fastest mentoring Mondays we've ever had. But we didn't have very many people either, so there wasn't a lot of dialogue.
Cindy has a paper boss.
Turn in paper timesheets. Okay. Oh, interesting. Yeah. We used to do that until we had T-sheets and Q Factor. So
We got a pretty good system here with the city of our timesheets and everything. You just keep track, and that's just a simple everybody's salary.
yeah.
So you just, you put in your 8 hours in there, and then at the end of the pay period every month, you turn it in, you just hit submit.
Makes it easy. Yep.
We used to be the
So
Wild
that
Wild
stuff's
West,
pretty
Trent.
easy on that part, but we do keep track of like the projects that we do, the road projects and everything that we're reconstructing. Might be some stuff that pertain in this that could help. But I think we got a pretty good grasp on everything. It's not like with the private industry where you're trying to make sure that you are profitable, that you're charging the right amount and not charging too little or too much.
Yep, exactly. Never charge too much, Troy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tell people.
They always charge too little.
Yeah, we did paper timesheets for the first 10 years. So
Well, when we started timesheets, for a while, we didn't even do timesheets.
yes, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
What was the consequence of not doing timesheets at all?
Well, like Troy says, when you have salary stuff, it doesn't really matter. And we weren't tracking job cost and everything at that point. You know, that was the first 10 years of our business was the end of the month and the end of the year, as long as it's in the end of the quarter, as long as we're still up, it's still good. But
Yeah.
then we've turned into the kind of the more of the project management software things and tried to fine tune some stuff. And then as we've grown as well, I mean, we were a lot smaller. Like Rob said, when we were Wild West, Rob's been with me for what, 10 years, 10 and a half years now.
11, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, almost 11. So yeah, we weren't nearly as big, and problems weren't as big back then.
Nope.
It was a lot simpler.
Nope.
So as you grow as a business, and like we've talked about a lot of times on here, like, you know, the bulk of surveying business in the country are less than 5 employees, or worst case, less than 9 employees. So some of them, you know, don't necessarily need this big of an operation or this much of, at least they don't think they don't need this this type of software. So it's goes back to changing the culture and getting some of the new business owners coming up that are more business savvy than they are surveyors. So
Is Dave Evans and Associates down in that area too?
they only have a civil engineer in Las Vegas. They don't have any survey down here. So
Okay, because they're mostly an engineering firm in the Pacific Northwest, but they do have a survey branch.
yeah,
which, they're really big.
absolutely. Yep.
I don't know if they use something like this or not, or use this product.
Oh,
Dave Evans?
yeah.
Yeah.
Dave Evans and Associates. Yeah. DEA. David Evans and Associates.
That name rings a bell. I don't know why. I think
Yeah.
I've talked
All
to
of
them.
that. Yeah, I was gonna say all up in that Pacific Northwest would have been hometown for you. They're headquartered, I think, out of Seattle, right, or somewhere near Seattle or Portland or something.
Yep.
Yeah, I know they got a Portland office.
Yep.
Take up a big building.
So Mr. Wing just joined us. He is a small survey operation out of Phoenix. And we were just about to end this until you jumped on, Wing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's been a graduation weekend for my daughter, so we're just running around everywhere.
See, that's what we were talking about. I was just talking about that when we started. It's kind of like the last week of school. So this was probably not a good week to have a mentoring Mondays, but I tried to do the 2 a week. So that's how we ended up here. But
You could have Frank 2.0,
that's right.
presentation 2.0.
We'll get him back when he comes back again. Wing, what are you using? So the question that started the conversation here a couple seconds ago is, what are you using to make sure that you're profitable per project? Besides QuickBooks or Excel spreadsheet, or are you using any kind of software, or you just know you have the money on every job?
Yeah. No, Excel, and then my wife's she's a whiz on Excel, so she can run, she can kind of, run scripts for different things that we want to look at and stuff like that. So if we need to put together, monthly or look at different numbers like that, she can wing it, but it's definitely not anything, not
Super sophisticated. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And the best part is Will's all by himself, so if it's bad, it's on him.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Hey, husband, your hours are over.
Yeah.
Are you a solo practitioner, Will?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Him and a
Very
bunch
cool.
of child labor.
Yeah. I know, that's what I just had my daughter out there today. We are out setting corners.
Just before her graduation.
Well, yeah. Well, she graduated this weekend, but there's another party tonight, and still have family in town, so it's linked.
I love it.
Yeah, no, pretty much just me and, like I said, the kids every now and then I'll contract out some help if I need it on the bigger stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And then timesheets, are you tracking hours or anything like that? How do you know how many hours you put on a particular job?
Yeah, same thing with a spreadsheet. I've got an Excel spreadsheet when I set up every new project gets one, and we kind of just have a template that kind of, but it's definitely is there's room for improvement.
Gotcha. So I'll just show them this workflow real quick. Like we just built this program, the group of us, that allows you to specify like what your estimate is, and you can specify if it's lump sum or time and materials, and then you can track your time against it. So if you like look at Wednesday here, I worked on this task here, resolve subject parcel boundaries, and I can populate my hours and my time essentially. And then from there, it automates the creation of invoices, because we noticed some people do that in Excel. And you can specify, okay, on this project here, Parker Smith survey, we're going to create an invoice for these time periods. And we can say exactly what we completed. Let's say we did 50% on this one last time. We can do 80% on this one. And it allows you to just automate or just have invoices generated for you. And all this information flows out to QuickBooks. If you want to show a labor breakdown, you can. You can preview it, publish it. It goes into QuickBooks on the front end. If the project was profitable or not. If you made money on the project or on individual deliverables to the client, or if there's a particular element in which it may have not been accretive for the company. So, yeah. And then it also tracks your tasks for you as well. So if you want to have checklists, you can create those within the system. It gives you unlimited document storage as well. And it also has a contact management system. So think of it like small shops, right? Groups of people that have between 1 and 5 people. This is built for them, essentially, so that you can have an organization instead of a series of spreadsheets.
Nice.
Cool.
And this is web-based.
Yeah, it's cloud. You can hit it from your phone, from the office, obviously, from home, from anywhere.
Yeah, it's been, he did a quick overview, a little bit ago too. Will, you can look at it a little bit later as well, but it's a good, definitely user friendly. That's one of the things I do like about it. It's very Chrome web browser friendly style. I mean, that's kind of, again, one of the things I like about it. It's super clean. If you want to show them across the top there too, if you wanted to, Frank, just like you can be in different projects. You had your tabs up there where you had different projects where it's like Chrome there. There you go. So you can tab between multiple projects and that kind of thing. So it was pretty, it's real user friendly, that's for sure. And then we also had Raphael jump on there too. So Raphael's catching up, but I had a question and I forgot. Oh, it does.
No,
It does integrate. Oh, no, that's what it was going to be. Was again when we talk about it, but this is May of 2024. So when somebody watches it later, but just kind of a rough cost per user, Frank, just kind of a ballpark. So you don't have to give specifics or something, but per user cost doing something like that.
it's $45 per user per month, essentially.
There you go. Yep.
Nice. It's not bad.
Right.
Yeah.
It's and that's a great solid price point for sure. So
Here's the background I wanted.
What's that?
That's the background I
Oh,
wanted.
Oh,
somebody posted that. Where did you freaking get that, Troy? I'm sorry, that's funny shit.
I saved it just for today.
That's funny shit. I know some Chrissy saw that and she's like, it's the new editor's picture for the Travers. That was funny. I love that. I didn't know that made it out into the world yet.
Oh, did it? It's on that post you did on LinkedIn.
I love it. I love it. That's awesome.
You're gonna be infamous now, Trent.
Always. That's awesome. Raphael, are you able to maybe unmute? Some of the question and dialogue was, what are you guys using to track project cost and that kind of stuff?
To track project costs. So it depends on what variables you want to put into it, but it does, like, you track labor, you can track expenses against the project cost. If you work with any third parties, you can include that in there as well.
Yep, it's perfect. Or surveyors that have higher outside aerial firms or something like that, we can add our outside consultant type stuff to that. That's cool.
Exactly.
Yep, yep.
Yeah. And if you ever do markups on third party work, you can include that into it.
That's awesome. Good stuff.
All
Anybody
right,
else? Well, we drug it out a little longer there for you, Frank. We'll get
Thank you.
we'll get it. I'll get it posted probably tomorrow or what's today, or Wednesday morning or something. But we'll get it up, and then anybody else, usually tunes in later, so you'll have an audience later. But no, it's good stuff. Your email, I don't think, if you want to maybe just say it out loud real quick so everybody watching it can have
Yeah.
it.
So our website is aldoa.com, ALDOA.com. And then my email is Frank, FRANK at Aldoa, ALDOA.com.
Yeah.
Feel free to reach out to us or request something on the site. But definitely was a pleasure speaking with everybody for sure.
Yeah, no, that was awesome. All right, everybody. Well, have a good week. We will be back. June 3rd is the next one, June 3rd, and that's going to be QuickBooks for surveyors. So you have to jump in on that one there, Frank.
Sounds good.
Yeah, awesome, guys. All right, everybody.
Thank you, Brent. Appreciate you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Thanks again.
Yeah.
Bye.
Right.
Bye, Will.